All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Roland Vasilev, and I'm the community manager for Velero. Today is December 30th, and we are just 11 days for Christmas. So it's like the spirit of getting holidays is here. So welcome everyone to our community meeting today. I've pasted in the chat the link to the HackMD. I'll paste this once again, and I'm gonna share what we have for today. I hope you can all can see my screen. Let me refresh that. Okay. Offline. No. All right. Okay. Scott, I can see you've added some stuff.
Yeah, sure. First of all, and this one was actually the week before last, but it's been merged since we had the meeting in this time zone. So I'll mention it again. The async action plugin, the kind of big design, which is a big part of the 111 feature set, did get merged, which was great. There is going to be a minor follow-on PR. There were a couple of comments near the end around cancel and the item operations object store file. And I need to kind of add some clarifications and some minor changes. Nothing blocking development there, but I will get that out shortly. And I also, as I was starting to work on the implementation around the API design, I realized that the item operation progress struct had a naming conflict. I had a field called completed that was Boolean saying it's done or not. And then there was another set of fields that was completed in total, which was, how much has been done. So obviously you can't have two fields called completed. So I will make an update to that as well. That will be later in the week. It'll be a small PR, nothing to block development, but so it should be pretty easy to get in. Then we had the 3 detailed design PRs around the API changes, plugin API. All 3 of those got merged over the last week, which is also great. So I have the first implementation PR. It's still in the draft state at the moment, the backup item action V2. I had actually done most of that work before the designs got merged. So I've got to go back into that PR now and kind of make some changes to reflect design changes since I put that together, specifically around the operation progress information. So I expect to get that done the next couple of days, and then that'll be flipped over to ready for review.
Nice. That was super fast and super
yeah.
productive. All right. Anyone else? Anyone having any questions about that? No? Okay. And then I have to apologize from VMware side that it took us like a bit longer to review all this stuff. I hope that will be fixed in the future, especially when we're gonna implement something that I'm gonna talk in a minute. Okay. So I can see something in my name that I didn't put, but anyway.
Sorry, yeah, I put that under your name just because it was your topic last week, time, and so I just kind of copied it over. But basically, you mentioned last time in this time zone that we're going to be not having the meeting on the 27th because most of us are on holiday then. It was kind of up in the air on the Beijing time zone. So I brought this up last week at the meeting there. And since they're all going to be at work and I'll be working that day on the 20th, 21st, we've decided we're going to have the meeting next week as usual. Obviously anyone, not there won't be there, it's fine. But the meeting will happen for those of us that are still working that day.
Nice. Okay. So I'm going to put out a message that we skip 27. It's rather obvious, but let's be open. Okay.
And just be clear in the message that the one next week is happening as scheduled.
Yeah, I'm just the message will be we're skipping 27th and that's it. Yeah. I'm gonna pin it into the channels. Okay. Did you manage to take a look at this one last time?
We talked about this last week as well. Because basically I know Shubham had some comments and some others on the Beijing side had some comments. And I think we kind of tentatively said that we're kind of okay with the way this is going and that it makes sense to be consistent there. We were just kind of waiting to get some feedback from Shubham since he was on holiday. He is back this week, although I don't know if he's available this morning. He's not on the call right now. But I'll ping him offline later to get him to comment on the PR as well. But I think we'd agreed at the meeting last week that clearly we need this functionality to be there. And using the existing parameter is probably the most straightforward way of doing it. If we decide we don't want to do that for some reason, then we're going to have to come up with another way of doing another parameter. So, my inclination is that this PR makes sense, but we just need to make sure that everyone's on board with that. And so I'll talk to Shubham later today to see if he can comment on the PR and kind of continue the conversation there.
Sure.
Thanks, Scott, for taking this up.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, Ansho, if you have something to add to this one, or you need some more stuff from the team.
Not from the above ones. There's another link I've mentioned just below this PR. That is that PR Scott has already reviewed and approved. I was just hoping if someone else on the team could also approve so that we can check this in and get it in 1.11 if possible. So basically, yeah, 1.1.
Yeah, no, and it looks like no one else has commented other than me. So it sounds like at this point, any other maintainer would be able to look into this. I think that, again, this is one that I don't see any controversy here. It's just a question of, in fact, this is actually something that I've noticed in the past that was one of these things like, oh yeah, I should do this someday. And because I actually did a similar thing on the restore side. There was some inconsistency, and I added because at one point we had the restore errors were in the describe but not in the logs, and backups were in the logs but not in the describe. So I made the change on the restore side to make sure they're in the logs as well. So now they're in both. So this is kind of the corresponding change on the backup side that I never got around to. I think this is a good thing to get in. I just we'll need someone else to review it as well to get that second review.
Great. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, just talk Daniel to check it out. I'm not sure. Maybe some of the folks are having like a rules in their mailbox. If they're assigned or they're something like reviewing in the review list. I'm sorry, and they're missing out those messages, and pinging them into the PR or issue works faster, I would say. And yeah.
It's also worth mentioning if you're trying to ping someone in the PR and you're not getting a response, it sometimes helps to also go into the Slack, the dev Slack channel thing there as well.
Got
it.
Getting someone's attention.
Yep. So let's give them some time, and if not, we can do that on Slack. Not to be super aggressive. Okay. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Olin. That's it from my side.
Yeah. And the last thing that I have for today, I've put out a draft. Okay, I should name it a draft, but I put a draft on the release process in docs. If you can take a look at this one, it's in the main repository. So practically describes the release process and the documentation around releases and the lifecycle pretty much. Is surely incomplete. So I would like to have your feedback on it. If we have to add some more stuff or remove something that is not accurate, and just make it our working version of the release process and documentation.
Yeah, and I'll have a look at this later this week as well. I have a question though, just kind of before I read it, is the intent here to basically, as a first pass, describe exactly what we're doing now, or are there proposals here to make changes that are not currently being done?
It's more to formalize what we are doing right now.
Okay, so the intent right now is to say this is what we think we're currently doing.
Yeah, that's the correct.
I suppose if there's something here that we think should be done differently, this would be appropriate to also say, hey, why don't we do this slightly differently here? But the first pass here at least is just basically a description of what we're already doing, but perhaps not documenting.
And since I'm not like super involved in the release, the actual release, I can easily say that I'm super sure that it's not absolutely correct. So feel free to. I just wanted to put out the draft and to be like the structure, and then we can add all the details and all the needs. Yeah. Okay. Great.
And one more comment on this, in terms of the description of the current process, it would also be good probably for you to make sure this makes it on the agenda for the Beijing time zone meeting next week, just because the people that are actively doing the current releases pretty much are all in that time zone at this point. Obviously, that may change in the future, but in other words, the people that did 194 and 110, and none of them are on this call. So it'd be good to bring this up as well for their feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll have a look at this PR this week.
All right. All right. Yeah, that's everything from my side. One last thing, maybe FOSDEM, the conference FOSDEM that is happening in Belgium, the first weekend of February. The CFP closes in 2 days. So if you're planning to visit that conference in Europe, I'm most probably I'm gonna apply for this one. I'm still not sure if I have the resource to apply. But if you want to talk about backup or Velero in general, there is a huge track on this one. So please take a look. I'll link that into the description here. So yeah, and if you're visiting, I'll be super happy to meet you and have a dinner or beer or both. I don't know. And yeah, just have fun. Actually, it's super geeky conference. So if you're in Europe for some reason around that time, it's worth visiting. So if you have been to KubeCon, it's like KubeCon, but without all the corporate bullshit. Oops, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that, but without all the corporate things. It's like pure geeky open source thing. It's not a corporate at all. All right. That was super quick community meeting. Anyone else want to chat about something, or we can have my evening back and your morning back? No? Okay. If you have any questions about all these conferences and stuff that are happening around, just ping me on Slack. I'll try to help you out with this stuff if you need anything. We are still waiting for the results for KubeCon. That will be like January something. So yeah, keep you posted on this one. All right. If nothing else, thank you very much. It was super quick and super nice today. And see you. What's that? Next year? Yeah. In that time frame, in that time zone and friendly thing will be next year. So all right. Have a nice holidays, everyone. Thanks for joining today, and talk to you in next year.
Yep.
Ivan, you're muted or something? I don't know. No. All right. Thank you. I suppose you're wishing everyone happy New Year. So yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, folks.
And
Happy New Year.
thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.